Hey everybody, nice to see that we have so many people already in the room. I just wanted to show myself in the camera and also talk because I saw that there are some people worried that they didn't hear. So I hope you can hear me now. You can put into the chat if you can hear me, or if you don't hear me. Currently everything should be working, so I hope there's no technical issues. Yeah, you can tell. Oh, great. I see that people are saying that they can hear me. Okay, but let's just have people gathering here, and good evening from Estonia to everybody. I hope you had a productive day, or you will start your productive day. I know that here are some people from other sides of the world who are starting their day. So huge welcome from my side, and I'm happy that you are all here. Today we are talking about how to make employees love health and safety rules. It's of course it's intriguing headline, but I think health and safety itself, it's a really intriguing topic because there are so many controversial let's say statements, thoughts, but I think still there are some secrets or some kind of actions that you can do in order to make employees more involved in health and safety, and more that also that they are taking health and safety more seriously. So, yeah, as people are still gathering, it's good to see that everybody is kind of saying, hey, we will have a small interactive task as well, where you can all mark where you're from, and then we are seeing a great word cloud. But then I will start sharing my screen, and then we will start with the topic, and we'll have a small introduction as well. So I will share my screen, and then you can see if you can see me. This one. So I hope everybody is seeing my screen. Yeah. Wait a moment. I will quickly stop sharing. I will quickly stop sharing and do a little more technical things. Yes. Okay. And now, Home tab. Yes. So I hope you can share my screen or see my screen now. And today I'm using this Mentimeter program or presentation. Maybe some of you are familiar with the program. Maybe some of you are new to the platform. Actually, it's a presentation platform, and I just as a side note, I really encourage you to use this in your health and safety presentation as well, because you can add here interactive questions, so people can watch the presentation, listen to you, but also they will be engaged when you ask different questions. They can basically answer on the go, and you can see a nice graphics graphic or answers, whatever you want to have on the screen, basically. But I will show you, and you will see that as well. Then in order for you to participate in those interactive tasks, you see on the upper side of the slide this www.menti.com. Please go there, and there is also the access code. And so when an interactive question pops up, then you can see it on your screen, and there you can just answer. And it's not currently it's not active, but soon it will be active, and then you will see that. But let's just go to the chase now. And as I said, today's topic is how to make employees love health and safety rules. And first, just a quick overview, who am I and why I think I'm really in the right place right now. So I have been in health and safety over 10 years now. And I was the CEO for some years. I was the CEO in Estonian biggest health and safety consulting company. And they are now acquired by a big Finnish company. They're still the best in Estonia, but as just like life goes, then 2019, I founded WITS. WITS is an health and safety management platform where companies can manage their health and safety processes in a more effective way. And this is also why basically the story behind WITS is that when I was the health and safety specialist, I really loved the industry. I really loved the job. But what I didn't like at all, and still I don't like, is the bureaucracy behind it. For me, health and safety means more talking to the employees, more being on the shop floor, just to observe what is going on, how to make the working conditions better, how to just like kind of maybe even like work with the ergonomics, just to see like that people don't get injured or so on. And so basically, then I saw that, okay, there should be some other way to go around the bureaucracy part. And as Estonia is quite known for making everything digital, then I came up at that time with my partner that, okay, we should have a platform for this. So that's when, that's how WITS started. And currently we have already quite many manufacturing, maintenance, logistics companies as customers. And I, in the end of the presentation, I'm also kind of introducing how we help the company to reduce the time on bureaucracy and giving time to have the prevention or deal with the prevention part. And also 2019, actually, I also founded an NGO. It's for Estonian health and safety practitioners. And the aim is just to raise the awareness among health and safety specialists to kind of build a network and also be a partner for the government institutions to show them what is actually going on in the health and safety field in Estonia. Yeah, so that's a brief introduction about me. And let's just go to the first interactive part. So now you should see on the menti.com address, you should see the question, where are you from? And you can add your answer there. So I already see that there is UK, there is Ireland. So it's really interesting to see who else we have here. So I'm from Estonia, but let's see, wow, from Spain as well. Nice. I think like, although I think like currently probably everywhere in the Europe at least, it's good weather. It's called that everywhere is like a hot waves. Even here in Estonia, which usually has like maybe 2 weeks summer weather, but this summer has been exceptionally good, and now we are waiting for the rain. Really desperately need rain. So what we have here, we have Ireland, we have England, we have UK, we have Spain. So I hope that we have more countries here. I think we should even have Estonia here, but like I don't know what those people are waiting, or they think that Estonia is so common here that we should mention that. Let's see. Oh, I have yeah, Estonia. Thank you. Estonia is here. Estonia is represented here. So anyone else here? Yeah, let's see. Okay. When somebody has problems with the homepage www.menti.com or accessing, then you can also put it in chat, and my colleague maybe can give you the homepage or the code. so you can access this. But anyway, it's really nice to see that we have an international audience here, and let's then just go on with the topic. And what are the objectives for today? So what we are talking about today is what are the common mistakes when implementing health and safety rules. And then we are talking about a new approach to health and safety rules. So what we can do in order to engage employees more to follow health and safety requirements. And then with the new approach, we are also giving some practical tips and tricks how you actually can implement those new approaches. And then I'm just like introducing a little use case, how we helped a company called Datwyler. They are our customer. They are an international company. We have worked with the Estonian branch, and how we have helped them to be there for the employees instead of sitting behind the computer and producing health and safety documents. So these are the objectives. So first, let's start with the question, why we don't like rules. Like most of the people don't like rules. There are certain people that like rules, but common thing is that the people usually don't like them, especially when they can't choose the industry. And usually health and safety rules are not liked by anyone usually, how bad as it sounds. But why we don't like them? The first thing is that usually they are forced on us by someone else. So usually they are coming from the management, from somebody who is sitting in the office and just saying that, okay, we need to do it this way. And then they just, you as an employee just hear that, okay, someone in the office just decided that we need to do it this way, like he knows best, although he or she hasn't worked on the operations never before, and they don't know anything how to do the work. So this actually this is causing definitely resistance. So, and the second thing is why we don't like rules is that, especially health and safety rules, is that they're usually making actions inconvenient. So when we are talking about doing different operations, then when you add health and safety or safe movements into the operations, then for most of the people, it means like more time or really inconvenient movements. So that's why they kind of trying to cut the corners here. And so this is the second reason why we don't like rules. And the third one is usually they seem unnecessary or exaggerated. We are talking about the exaggeration later more, but we want to be too dramatic when we are talking about why we need to have those rules. And so people feel that, okay, that's too much. And so that's why usually they don't take it seriously. So, of course, there are many more reasons why people don't like rules, but I think these are the three important ones, and these are the ones that I have experienced when I was the health and safety specialist, like what people have told me why they don't like certain rules. So let's continue. And when we are now talking about the mistakes, common mistakes, then first, as I already a little bit mentioned, is that usually we are presenting the consequences of when we don't follow certain rules in a too dramatic way. So basically, when we are talking about health and safety, then we are talking about usually like when you don't do this, you are going to die. And usually this is too dramatic, and people don't believe that. This kind of thinking that, okay, when I don't do this, I'm going to die, it's so far away. So it's like the same maybe analogy that when you're now working in this company or doing this way or learn a new habit, then in the future you will be rich or you will have a good life. people don't think in a like really longer term, and they don't think even like this kind of end game results. They want to have the effect now. They want to kind of feel that, okay, when I'm doing this, then the consequence is this. And usually you are going to die. It's too far away for them. Like, people don't think about death like every day. Thank God, I think. And the second is, and also it's a little bit related to the first one, is that the connection between health and safety requirements and the consequences are not realistic. So that means basically that, for example, I have met that in some safety instructions, and I think also you can, you have also some these kinds of examples. And also I heard that from like a research as well, that there are some examples. For example, you need to wear gloves or you will lose your arm. So they are not connected. So the people don't relate to this. People can think with their own head. They actually usually know what can be the consequence when they are not following certain rules. And so when you're presenting, again, in a really dramatic way, in a really like kind of let's say like tough way, where like what happens when you're not doing this or that, then people are not following it. And and I think also what is important is the health and safety, the reputation of the health and safety specialist can also suffer under this. So the health and safety specialist really needs to think what is actually like credible for them. Okay, so let's go to the, before we go to the next common mistake, then one slide here before is that like these kind of too dramatic consequences, these are usually like, it's called like shock tactics. And I recently just heard from one podcast where there was some research done why shock tactic usually is not working. And the research actually was about a car crash. And so there was like an advertisement or advertisement where they were showing, I think the main aim was that don't type or don't like kind of use your phone while you're driving. And then they showed this really heavy car crash where people were like in pieces and dying and so on. And so they were like kind of analyzing this in the research, and then there they found out that these kind of shock tactic advertisements or campaigns doesn't work usually, because people can't relate to them. They are kind of they are starting to think about the probability of experiencing the harm by themselves, and they are also kind of starting to weigh the benefits and the consequences. When the benefits are higher, then the consequence, then they will still kind of violate requirements, because the benefit is higher for them and the consequence is too far away and too unlikely. So people don't think that the most dramatic outcome will affect them. So these are the reasons why those shock tactics usually are not working. Although I have to say that there was also this sentence that these shock tactics could work when they have happened really close to the person. So for example, when we are taking your working environment, and when you have had a really traumatic case happening in your working environment, then this definitely can affect the employees around, like not around, but in the company. So it's with this, it's also really important when you're talking about the consequences. So when you don't follow this, then this will happen. Is the more examples you can bring from your own company, the better. Or you can bring examples from similar industries, similar companies that people are respecting. This could also work according to research. Okay, so now we are going to the common mistake number 2. So there usually is no interaction with employees. So as I mentioned in the beginning, that usually it's like this, that from above, from the management board, there are coming new rules, and you just need to start following the rules from day one. But usually and then it's definitely resistance, revolution, and whatever. It depends how much the new requirements or new rules are affecting the employees. But it's really important that you can't apply new rules without talking to the employees, and also you need to involve them in the really in the beginning. And usually also why people kind of feel left out is that the health and safety specialist, who should be actually the let's say the middleman between the management and the employees, is spending more time behind the computer instead of spending time in the actual working environment. So usually the mistake what health and safety specialists doing, and I know that from my personal experience, is not their fault, is that they are forced to produce different documents, different reports, different audits, and such things. So that means that they're spending days behind the computer, sometimes rushing through the working environment, dealing with work accidents, incidents, and so on, but they don't have time to actually be there, observe, talking to employees, and so on. So, and I think also this connects to the first point, is that we like to give the employees the exact actions instead of teaching them the ability to act right. So this kind of comes back to the safety instructions, that when we are doing the safety instructions, and I also know that this is a little bit controversial statement what I'm putting out here, because I know that in some countries, also in Estonia, the labor inspectorate, when something happens, then the labor inspectorate wants to see the the exact sentence where it is said that you can't do this, or you shouldn't do this, or it's prohibited to do this. But actually the safety instruction shouldn't be just concrete sentences what you can do or what you can't do, because you can't cover all the possible actions, possible hazards, possible outcomes. You need to teach people how to act right, how to have the common sense. We are talking a lot about the common sense, and I know when I have done the safety trainings in Estonia also that the employers are also sometimes saying that, but we expect people have common sense. Some people have it, some people not, but then our responsibility is to kind of give the common sense, what is kind of connected to the health and safety, or the safety requirements, and so on. I know it's probably the most hard thing to do, but I think we can work on this together, and I definitely want to work on this, that to give or to test out myself as well, how we can give out the common sense, or teach the people the common sense regarding health and safety. Okay, and the common mistake number 3, safety is making operations inconvenient. And so I really like what one of my colleagues is saying about safety requirements or safe movements. He's saying, and it's definitely not a kind of heroic moment or nothing new, but he's saying that safety is not something separate. Safety is something that has to be involved in the operations, in the actions, in the machinery from day one, basically. So I think it's good example what I have found out some years ago already, and those people that are from the UK and England, and I think maybe even in Ireland is the same, that when people are planning huge public events, then the first thing they also need to consider is the safety. In Estonia, it's not exactly like that, although, of course, regarding Corona, definitely everyone is thinking about the safety, and then the safety in that sense that people don't get coronavirus or something like this. But I know that in the UK that the people, when you're doing public events, for example, football matches, that there is one person who is responsible for the health and safety. And it has been really interesting to talk to them, what is their responsibility. And so basically, safety should be the kind of the common thing in all operations, in all industries, in all machinery, equipment, whatever, basically. And so that means that safety, when we are following health and safety, it shouldn't affect the efficiency of the operations. It should be involved in the operations. So basically, when we are thinking, and I have a really good example here as well. I remember when I was quite young health and safety specialist, and there was a kind of a factory that produced different spices. And I really remember that there was one person who was kind of there was like different operations. So first, the first operation was that there is a plastic bag, and the plastic bag was filled with the spice. Then there was like a scale, like scaling or weighting part, where you have to just check how much spice went into the bag. Then you had the operations where there was like a kind of welding machine that basically the mouth of the bag was kind of stick together, and then there was kind of this X-ray machine where you could just see that there is nothing bad in the bag, basically. So nothing like kind of something you shouldn't need, for example. And then there was kind of this kind of line where you just could take the bag and just put it somewhere on the like a kind of box. There was a box, and you could put the bag into the box, basically. I hope you understood the process there. And so what happened, or what the employee needed to do, is every time when there was this new operation, a person needed to kind of carry the bag and lift the bag, basically. And basically the person did with one bag that was about like 40 kilograms or something like this. He did like 5-6 different like lifts, and it took quite a lot of time. And so basically this wasn't really healthy. It wasn't safe as well, because the welding machine was also a little bit old there, and it took time, actually. So when they changed the process, and it was like totally like all the processes were automatic, then basically it saved a lot of time. It was much more safe, and basically they could even speed up the process. So there was like involved safety and efficiency. So this is the thing, that safety shouldn't make operations inconvenient. It actually should help also increase efficiency. Okay, I hope this was clear. If not, then you can put questions into the chat, and later we can just discuss them through. So let's continue. So now we have talked about 3 common mistakes, and instead of doing the mistakes again, instead try this. So first thing is, when you're taking your safety instructions, and I know like there's also this like kind of not safety instructions, but in some countries we are using the word toolbox talks. And I know that some companies have like really nicely designed one-pagers where all the necessary information with pictures and like tables and schemes are on the like in the PDFs. And so basically, what is important here, that just take a look at your safety instructions and make them more like as a framework. So it's really important that you don't have this kind of really precise sentences, what you are allowed to do and what you are not allowed to do. Instead, like give the employee with the framework kind of the behavioral direction. So it's like a directive, what is important to do, what is important to maybe pay attention to, that the employee, based on this framework, the employee can come up with the decisions by his own, for example. Then the second thing is involve employees more when you're applying new requirements. For example, just go and ask the employee, okay, here, we have an issue here. How you would act here in order to make yourself safe, or in order to be safe, or in order to keep your health, whatever. The thing is that usually employees, they know the operations. They know what is doable and what is not doable. So basically, they probably have really good ideas how to apply new rules here. So, or apply new requirements. And also when they are already involved, they are much more willing to start using the new rules. Then again, coming back to the inconvenience part, and rules should fit into the current processes. So I think it's all like, I know what kind of mistakes also I have seen in my current, with my current customers. And I know that it's in other countries as well, that usually the health and safety person is involved when everything, like all the operations, all the equipment is already placed there, and then there is the health and safety person who needs to do the risk assessment or some kind of audit. But the thing is that even when the health and safety specialist making some kind of notes or discovers some kind of hazards, then it's quite expensive and definitely not efficient to make changes there. And then it's much more costly in terms of time and money to kind of start to again cut corners to make the health and safety work there. So it's much more cheaper, much more efficient to involve when you want to kind of reconstruct the manufacturing, factory or some operations, then take the health and safety specialist around the table or involved in the decision process from day one, basically. And I know that probably here are not all like decision makers, but you as a health and safety specialist who are listening to this, then try to get this message to your management board, because I think this is really important. And, I think as decision makers know the talk of money, then just kind of refer that efficiency usually means more money for them. So and the fourth kind of point I have here is get the threat right is more important than get the threat big. So this is again for the health and safety specialist a really big challenge, I guess, to kind of estimate what is the right threat. So basically what is also here, what is important is that not like kind of threatening people that you will die or you will lose your legs or hands, instead of maybe even referring that, when you don't do this, you probably just get a really let's say whatever, broken bone or something like this. And maybe it's not even that bad. If you're lucky, then you will stay away 2 weeks from the work. But now imagine the employee, when the employee is two weeks away from the work, that means that the person probably gets only half of the salary that he expected to get. And that means that basically when the person has loans, when the person has some kind of responsibilities, then basically he's not in a very good situation when there's a family that is relying on him and so on. So basically, these are the consequences that are more relatable to him. And I think this is something that we should communicate, that you should follow those rules, because it's not because you are going to die, it's because you will lose some income. And this is definitely more kind of touchable for them. Then Warning signs. I listened to again some podcasts and some researchers that are that talked about the warning signs, and there was some really good research done that the warning signs usually help. But you have to be careful that there shouldn't be too many of those, because it will lose focus, and people will lose focus when there are too many. And I think it's a good example here. Those usually like big machinery, then one side usually is full of different stickers and with like lots of warning signs. Everybody knows that there are warning signs, but when you have to name them, then usually you don't know that. Maybe you can name one or two, but not all of them. And also warning signs, just like kind of, it's here also they brought a really good example with the speeding camera warning sign, that when there is the speeding camera warning sign, then usually still people tend to slow down. And yeah, there is also like a kind of the backstory that usually when people like driving this way like many times, then and they see that there is no camera, then they don't like take it seriously. But it's important then to kind of make sure you have the warning signs in those places where the threat actually is possible to happen. So warning signs should be also taken seriously. So you should always look if the signs are actually like applicable there. And the last but not least, don't forget humor, but also not to kind of be careful not to ridicule health and safety, because yeah, like humor is really important. Health and safety in general is really yeah, kind of health and safety in general is a really serious topic, but humor can make the topic more pleasant to people. But you have to yeah, be careful that like that the humorous, let's say, posters or something, that they don't stay somewhere where people can kind of apply different meanings to it. Humor is really good. Where you can could use humor is in presentations, in safety trainings, maybe, where you could also explain the backstory of the humor, because otherwise people maybe can understand it in the wrong way, and that's definitely what we don't want. So let's, I hope that you are on track with me, and you, everything that I'm talking here is relatable to you, and I hope really that you have gotten already some kind of useful information as well. But just a little bit, we have some slides to go, and also you can, in the back, you can also open this menti.com homepage and use that code, because we will have another interactive slide coming up. But now going more practical, then as I already said, that make instructions like directives or frameworks. So reword the instructions, and also I think that's definitely also nothing new, that you should add pictures there. Make it like work on the design. If you maybe even have some designer in your company, or you have someone who really likes to design different documents, then definitely use them. Make sure that they are not just plain text, just highlight something, make it more visually appealing. So this is definitely important when we are talking about instructions. Then second is ask employees how they would act in certain dangerous situations. You can get some good ideas. They feel that they are involved. Also, even when you come up with some kind of requirements on your own, then just go and talk to them. Probably in bigger companies, there are employees representatives, so you can talk with them. But when not, then just just when you have like a meeting where you are all together, then just talk to them. And I think like casual talks, when you just do your everyday rounds, you just observe, then having those casual talks about health and safety is also making the topic more more appealing. And then, you know, like it's the same kind of topic when people are talking about weather or what they have done in the weekend, than just talking about how to make your workplace healthier, safer. It's also maybe will be more popular at the end. Then this kind of statement that safe movements should equal efficiency. So with the safe movements, what we want to achieve is, first of all, we want to achieve that people are safe, of course, but also efficiency. We want our aim is actually not our aim, but when you establish a company, the main aim of the company is actually earn money. And so in order to earn money, we need to make sure that whatever we produce, we provide, it should be as efficient as possible, because otherwise we just kind of spend the profitability of the company. So and how you can do that is just like always, as I said, that if you are the health and safety specialist, then just make sure that the management is involving you in day one when they are planning some kind of change in the working environment. And of course, you should also be interested in just kind of talking to your peers, other health and safety specialists, to find out what are the kind of newest trends regarding health and safety, ergonomics, some kind of additional equipment, what you can use, what are the kind of latest trends or something like this. So I see that in LinkedIn, there are so many great health and safety groups that you can join and just ask, we have this plan, what, maybe someone has some kind of experience, how to solve this, how to make it more efficient, and so on. Then, I think one of the most maybe important practical tip I want to give here is that the safety training, the process of the safety training should be definitely changed. Of course, I don't know what you're doing now, and maybe there is somebody already that is doing that, has already implemented this, but the safety training shouldn't be definitely it shouldn't be like this, that the employee is just reading the instructions and then kind of puts a signature somewhere. It should be more like a discussion. And then the safety material, the health and safety material, of course, you have to read the safety instructions or the well-designed frameworks as well. But you can include presentations there. You can include videos. You can include pictures, illustrations, whatever. And I think what is also when we are talking about the aim of getting people to act right, then it's really important to have maybe this case-based situation exercises. So what I mean with this is, for example, that you have videos or pictures where there is a situation going on, and now through the discussion, you are kind of trying to, or the employee can try find out for himself or herself what is the best kind of action here. What is the most safest way of dealing with this situation, or what kind of hazard the person sees on the picture or on the video? So this kind of makes the people more aware of the hazards, more aware of the safety situations, and they can have this kind of or learn the common sense how to act in different situations. Then also, as I talked, these warning signs, that definitely use those warning signs, make sure that they are big enough, and make sure that there is not too many of them, so they can kind of, that nothing of them is dominating. So basically that they are basically starting to get like a wallpaper. So that's definitely what we don't want. And also, add humor to your presentations and meetings. Again, there's so many, even if you Google it, so many funny pictures, funny comics about health and safety. And even though it's a really serious topic, and even though people need to take it seriously, I think a little bit humor never harms anybody, and maybe it's making even people more like relating to this health and safety. And you know, like usually I'm always saying that when I'm talking about health and safety with my friends, and like let's say new friends, when they don't when they haven't heard me talking about health and safety before, and then they find out what I'm doing, then usually always everything starts with making jokes about health and safety. But like during time, what I get is I get phone calls when people are saying, you know, in our company it's not working very well, maybe you can come and help us. So people start to get aware of health and safety after they have made some jokes about this. So when people are interacting with you and first starting to make jokes about health and safety, that's a good sign. That means that next step is that they are more aware of this, and they will call you and they will ask for some advice. So I hope these practical tips and tricks that you found something that you haven't implemented yet. If you have more questions about this, then definitely you can ask, but then let's just continue. And now this is the interactive part. So I have brought out here those main kind of tips and tricks, what you can use in order to make employees love health and safety. And like now I'm just asking for your opinion. Of course, I think like everyone has their place here, and ideally you could or you should use all of them. But what do you think? What is in your opinion, the most efficient kind of way making employees love health and safety rules? And yeah, definitely, I know that there are so many I see already that here are so many people who are so much educated about this, and they have their own opinions, and definitely they have really good ideas. But I think it's just like kind of try to think what is for you the most efficient one. And I already see people are voting. I hope you see it as well. It's interesting to see how they are changing. So I see that involving employees and basic and safety training, they got the most points. Warning signs, definitely the less ones. And I have to say that personally, I agree with you. If I have had to choose, then definitely warning signs is not my first option. My personal opinion definitely is the safety training. I think safety training is the most valuable part. When I did my last event was about safety training, then for me, like what is the most important kind of way to train your employees is that you don't leave them alone. So everything that needs to be formal, that you have this kind of instructions and you have to take the signatures or something like this, this can be formal, but it should always have the discussions. It should always have the interaction part as well. So what I see here is that we have a winner, although it was really close. I see that on the first place there is this involve your employees, and the second place really like basically the same, say on the same level is the safety training should be more like a discussion. So thank you for this. Let's continue. And what I wanted to add here before we end is basically what is the main point actually, and how we can ensure that everything that we have discussed is actually taken seriously and people are following this, is that the health and safety specialist is not there to producing like documents or he or she is not the head of bureaucracy. Basically, the health and safety specialist is usually a really well-educated person whose knowledge we need in the work environment. This person knows where are those hazards and how to kind of mitigate those hazards or risks. And so it's really important that I just brought here some numbers as well, that they're actually not like kind of research numbers. They are just my personal opinion. How I see this, that health and safety specialists should spend most of the time in the actual working environment, talking to employees, observing the situations, and the smaller amount of the working time behind the computer producing health and safety documents. And how you can do that is that when you're taking your like everyday processes and you automate or you digitize it as much as possible, and you leave your main working time on those process that you can't automate. And these are the actual discussions, actual talks, observations. These should be done in person, basically. So, and as I promised, also I'm presenting really briefly a small use case. And currently, I'm just like, if you are interested in this use case, finding out more, then when you're looking below the poll, you have the chat, the poll, and then you have the offers. There you can just download the use case, the whole use case. Currently, I'm just giving you a brief overview about the use case. So there is a really nice company. They are metal. They're working in the metal industry. They have around 100 employees. And what was the problem? They had a quite high employee turnover, and the health and safety specialist was spending most of the time in the office, creating safety training instructions, safety training cards, making sure that new employees will get trained. They were managing the employees' health checks, that they have the permits to work. And so basically what the person said to me is that like not even exaggerating, that 3 days out of 5 at least, at that time it was a she, was spending the more time behind the computer. And what was the like problem with this is that in the actual workplace, people weren't satisfied. There were so many incidents, some of them more serious, some of them less serious, but it was like a matter of time when the less serious incidents also starting to be serious. And so how we help them to solve the problem is that definitely people don't like those bureaucracy parts. Some people, again, maybe like that, but most of the people not. And so what we did for them, we created a digital safety training process for them. So they could upload all the safety instructions, they could add test questions, videos, and employees could confirm the safety training digitally. Also, all the personal protective equipment could confirmed by the employees digitally. Then we implemented a smart notification system also into our platform. So all documents that had some deadlines to follow, we just kind of managed to upload them and add them notifications, but also we added persons there. So basically, for example, I bring a really simple example, first aiders. You have to have your first aider at your company, and the first aider needs to be trained, so in order to know what to do. And the first aider, basically, what we did for them is we uploaded the first aider certificate. We added the employee who had the training, and then added the deadline. And basically, after 3 years, the system will notify the health and safety specialist that, you know, this person needs to go to the training again. So this is what we did with the notifications. And in our platform, there is the safety index, and the safety index the health and safety specialist to focus on those employees who needed the attention. So it shows if the safety training is overdue, the PPE is overdue, if the health checks are overdue, and if there are some incidents related to this employee, basically. So the health and safety specialist looks on the safety indexes and she sees which people are marked as red, which in green, and so on, basically. And the result is that here is the quote from the company, from the health and safety specialist. And basically the result is that the health and safety specialist has a calm heart, that everything is up to date. There is much less paperwork. And also what she mentioned is that they are really glad that the employees manage the digital verification solution. Usually manufacturing employees maybe are not that digital or tech savvy, but our system is so easy to use that everyone could manage to use that. So if you are interested in finding out more, then as I said, in the offers, you can download the resource. But this is all from my side. So thank you very much that you took the time to spend 1 hour with me. I'm happy to answer your questions now. So I'm now stopping the screen sharing and taking some questions if you have any. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I see some good comments here. Yeah, like Jonathan, thank you for the questions regarding the industry. No, actually, like not only manufacturing industry. I think it could be applied to other industries as well. Maybe it's not that applicable. For example, when there's like large office spaces or something like this, then like of course they don't have all the same problems, let's say. But like I would say the biggest pain is definitely in the manufacturing, in maintenance, of course, as well. But yeah, not only. I think it's in construction, even logistics, for example, and so on. And yeah, like NEBOSH training, yeah, definitely. NEBOSH is definitely touching the point. I see some comments as well. Do you mean a point about following health and safety requirements means additional? Please explain a second point again in the last slide. Wait, I will check the last slide. Sorry, I didn't see that question before. Second point. I hope that you mean this practical tips and tricks or okay. Let's see. Common mistake tree. Let's go back a little bit. Wait. And the second point. Okay. Yeah. Following safety requirements means additional movements. Yeah. So basically, what I hope, like I have talked about this a lot already, but just to maybe be clear or to kind of repeat that again, is that like what I mean with this is like the same example with lifting the bag, for example, that like doing different like movements. Usually it could like it's safe, but it takes a lot of time usually. And so sometimes we just add some certain movements in order to keep the employee safe. For example, I don't know, you need to, I don't know, like you have additional buttons, or you have like covers or something like this that you need to use in order to be safe. But like adding different covers, or I don't know, like pushing some buttons or having some kind of handles or something like this usually means extra movements. And so when people are in hurry or they just want to be efficient themselves, then that is the first thing that they lose usually, those kind of safety movements, safety requirements, and so on. So basically what I mean with this is those safety movements need to be implemented in the regular operation, in the when you're producing something, in the producing process, so that people don't have the choice whether I'm skipping it or not. Basically, they should be so taken for granted, let's say, or so common that people don't have the choice to skip the safe movement. So I hope that this explained the second point, and if not, you can ask the question again. Yeah, I see really good comments here. Thank you very much for the comments here as well. I don't see many questions here. So will you share all detail in your email ad? Basically, yeah, what I can definitely say is that we will send you all the recording, all the slides, then also the same kind of use case that I presented here. We will send you with tomorrow with a separate email. So don't worry, you will get all this. And then if you have any other questions, then definitely you can ping me on LinkedIn. You can send me an email. I'm always happy to receive emails from other health and safety specialists. And even when I don't know the right answer, then it's really nice to even have the discussions. Oh, thank you. I see a really good comment that there are people that are on the second event already. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for the nice words. How to make understand people that health and safety produces for them, not against them. Procedures, I guess. Yeah, that's the thing, that people should be involved in the health and safety procedures. When you're making or when you come up with those procedures, then this is the place where you should talk to your employees. They definitely, like everyone wants to, like everyone is using something to be safe in their everyday life. And so it's important that also in the workplace, they can do or make the decisions by on their own. And you have to help them to do that. And so involve them on the first day when you are doing the procedures, or let's say, you can go to the employees and say, okay, we will need to change that. Let's do it together. And then they are probably more eager to propose some ideas. And then you can just like kind of have the discussion. And when there are things that they have proposed, then usually they also tend to follow this, and they know that it's for their own good. And usually the problem is that people just, as the main kind of idea of the presentation today was that they feel that it's forced on them. They feel that they are unnecessary. They are exaggerated. They should know what the real consequences is if they don't follow this. So maybe I hope that this answered your question. Okay, so then I think we are a little bit over time, so apologies for this. Thank you very, very much for attending this event. Definitely, I'm saying, or I can already promise that we will have other events coming up. So just keep an eye on our LinkedIn or my LinkedIn profile. We will definitely send you the information. Like, I'm definitely sending the information there, but of course we will notify you with email as well that there is a new event coming. So thank you again. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening, morning, afternoon, noon, whatever you have there. And yeah, keep yourself safe and keep your employees safe. And if you have any questions, then let me know. But yeah, bye.